Mr. Lee. What's going on, Mr. Lee? How you feeling?
Hey, what's going on, Anton? Good evening to the panel. How's everybody doing? Great conversation.
Good. Good evening. Good morning.
Good morning. Yes. Can you guys hear me clearly?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. This is a very interesting conversation because if a woman accepts going into a long-term committed relationship or a marriage with a man, and she can't look into his eyes and see that this is a man that inspires her, that she could follow to anywhere, no matter what he says, no matter what he does, whether he's right or wrong, irrelevant, then she shouldn't be going into an economic-based relationship with a person, because whenever you deal with money, there's always going to be disputes and different issues, and that muddies things. But I think that when you talk about the money being grouped together as the family's account, there's a portion of it that would be a set aside. There's a person who will manage the finance of the family. Sometimes the person that is more apt to do that could be the woman. Sometimes the person that's more apt to do that is the man. However, with regard to 50-50 paying the bills, that's paying the bills and the management of the finances of the home. But beyond that, there's a value that the woman brings above the finance, and there's a value that the man brings beyond the finance. And those things, I think, are what in Black America today that we don't see, or we don't give any equity to whatsoever, because we can see in the Black community in our lives that there are families where the woman runs the family and she's making north of 100 grand. She didn't marry the man, or she divorced the man, or she left the man because he made less money. And then the children, their lives get destroyed. The boy gets hooked up in gangs, and the girl gets turned out at 14, and she's running the streets tricking, because the father was not there to set down the law and run the other aspect of value that he would bring to balance the family. And the thing is money is one aspect. There's a power and authority and leadership and guidance that women don't have the ability to see tomorrow. They just don't. They can't plan for the next day, much less 20 years in the future. Men do that. Men understand consequences of lives, both of women, because we deal with them, and we understand the difficulties that sons will have to go through because we have lived that life ourselves. So when in our life in America today, when a woman is getting with a man and she said, well, she makes 90, he makes 60, or he makes 50. If she wants to be with that man, she sees something greater in him that transcends just the economic value that he will bring to her life. Besides, if they're getting married in their late 20s or early 30s, we know now from statistics that men over time, by the time they're 45, will outpace a woman income-wise. So though she may outproduce him now, he will outproduce her later. So the things that we are debating over the cash amount of the finance of the family is ludicrous. What we should be looking at is this woman valuable to me more than just her pussy? Is this man more valuable to me more than just his dick? And if the woman can make that evaluation in the man, that this man have something greater than just money, and she wants to hook her wagon to him, that's how she should move. And if he sees something greater in her, other than her big ass, he should move with her like that. We make evaluations on things that fiat currency, if the United States was to balance its books today, it would be at least $20 trillion in deficit. So even America doesn't even balance its books based on other countries' economics anyway. So when you start going into the money aspect, we need to say, okay, the money will give us a life in a middle-class family in this type of neighborhood. We avoid certain dangers by living in the midst of the ghetto. Our pool of money can bring us a better quality of life. But there are other things that deal with that. I've known men that make over $500,000 a year and their children are destroyed. when they have to go to school to deal with something with their sons because the principal keep calling the home and the mother tells him she's been to the school 3 times, but the boy don't change. He's not going because he's busy. I'm busy. I'm taking care of the finances. You handle that. And sometimes when people are just so focused on the money, they miss the ancillary things around them because life is far more complicated than paying off a bill, going on a vacation, wearing a nice pair of shoes, driving a nice car. That's, if you got skills, you can get that shit.
And that's
the
what
real value
life is about right there. It's bigger than the money. I'm in my kids' homework. I'm at my kids' school. I don't went to every fucking school that my kids ever fucking went to. I'm in everybody's business. I need to know what the fuck is I run everything. So that's what I'm saying. It's about system and not just money. Money is important, but in this situation with a woman making more money than me, money ain't the problem. I run the entire, I have dominion over the entire household. Children,
listen,
mama.
If you are,
I need to know what the fuck your mama doing.
If you are a high functioning, high performing guy, and you make over $500,000 a year, it is no way possible that you are spending an extended amount of time at your kid's school, doing all of that other type of shit, doing the homework and all of this other stuff. It is impossible. And not only that.
Well, if I may interject for a second.
Go ahead, Mr. Lee.
A father going to deal with an issue at school, he's not spending a lot of time at school. He may take an hour.
Thank you.
Correct. That's what I'm saying.
You.
But what I'm saying is, no. It's to be that heavily involved.
Let Monique go up next. Go ahead.
Be that heavily involved is a farce.
That's what you, Monique.
It's not happening. It's not.
Well, I didn't say heavenly. I said the wife. I said the wife went to the school 3 times and was not able to resolve the issue with the son.
I'm not talking about what you said.
So at some point, there have to be a higher level authority to step in. So he's not going to step in on every single point.
I'm not
okay,
cool.
saying
specifically.
Okay, cool. Got it.
And that.
Okay, perfect. Continue.
To be able to delegate more effectively while still implementing your vision over the household is a balance, and it's important. But we also have to take into consideration when we having these conversations that men that often routinely work between 12 and 16, 17 hours
16 hours, right,
are not sitting at the homework table with the kid on a regular basis. Now we are familiar, right? We are participating. We do understand. We do have these conversations or whatever. Often at times,
make sure to mute out who ain't muted.
the majority of the guys that I know that make that type of money is on the road.